Welcome back to Malonze Productions. So today I'm going to be talking about the return of Moria. It's a new game that was just announced today, and it looks to be a survival sandbox RPG, which, as many people who watch my channel know, are my favorite type of games. So I'm going to be covering what we know so far about the game. Now I'm going to have the trailer on in the background. However, the information that I am getting is going to be from the returntomoria.com, because there's a lot to this. As I go through all of the different paragraphs, which there's not really that many, maybe 10, I'm going to break them down and tell you what I think about them. So the first one is basically just the intro. It says, "Welcome to the Lord of the Rings, TM, Return to Moria, TM, the only survival crafting video game set in the 4th age of Middle-earth, TM. A lot of TMs there. I understand why, but still, it's kind of funny. The iconic fantasy world created by J.R.R. Tolkien, summoned to the Misty Mountains by Lord Gimli Lockbearer, players take control of a company of dwarves tasked to reclaim the lost spoils from the dwarven homeland of Moria, known as Khazad-dûm, or Dareldelf. In the depths below their very feet, their quest will require fortitude, delving deep into the mines of Moria to recover its treasures." The next thing is also a little bit about the game. It's a description of it. Set in a procedurally generated dwarven realm of Moria, no two adventurers will be alike, and every expedition is traversable either solo or online with companions. Players can mine to craft greater gear and resources, but beware, mining makes noise, and noise created in the quiet deep threatens to awaken the dangers below. Where there's clatter, there's combat. Excavate the mysteries of the 3 legendary mountains, extract precious metals, scrape to survive, and battle unspeakable forces to learn the secret of the shadow that lurks within. So, just in that paragraph, set in a procedurally generated world, which is fucking fantastic. It's basically going to be like Minecraft or like Valheim, so your world is always different, which is great because it's always a fresh new take every time you replay it. No two adventures will be alike. Yes, of course, that's basically what it said. Solo or online with companions is also a great plus. Some people like playing with other people. Some people like playing solo. And maybe it'll be like Valheim, where you could play solo, but invite people to join on your world to play at, whenever you want. If it's like that, that's a major plus. Not only is it options for everybody, but it also is variety. Mine to get greater resources. Yes, that's basically everything that a survival game does, so that's nothing new right there. However, it says unspeakable forces to learn the secrets of the shadow that lurks within. Now, that's where it got me, because the secret of the shadow that lurks within, if they are meaning the Balrog was defeated in, the first Lord of the Rings movie. We see that. We even see it again in a clip of the beginning of the second movie, where it is defeated. Though, I guess it might not be the only one. Possibly there could be one that's in there that could be like a world boss type of situation. I'm not sure. But again, I don't really expect it, being it's this type of game, I don't expect it to completely follow lore to the teeth, But, it's still something to keep in mind. Now, the next thing. Now, this all is going to be game features. The first one says, feel the fellowship. Experience the fellowship of the dwarves like never before, with the rich lore of the iconic fantasy world from J.R.R. Tolkien interwoven into the very fabric of Lord of the Rings, Return to Moria. And the next one is, survive the dark. To survive the treacherous mines of Moria, players must conserve resources, hunt, gather for food, and manage their sleep, temperature, and noise levels. Utilize dynamic light systems for safety, and blaze a path further into the darkness. Battle unspeakable evils and survive the hordes of monsters, orcs in visceral combat, while uncovering the secret of the shadow that looms within the mountain. Okay, so a lot to unpack in that. paragraph. So, you must conserve resources and hunt and gather. That's basically a survival game. However, the hunting, what are you hunting in a mine? You know, other than obvious enemies like, you know, orcs and goblins, which I'll get to in a second, what creature would be in a mine for them to hunt? Now there probably are creatures that dwell in the mountains that are more beast-like for them to hunt and stuff. Not that I'm aware of. I didn't really read the books. I really only watched the movies. I have all the director's cut trilogy movies on Blu-ray. It's awesome. But there's probably something in the lore that says that, but I'm not aware of it. If anyone knows, you could write it in the comments below and correct me because I'm an idiot. Gather for food, yeah, okay. Well, again, in the movie, they also said, you know, ribs, right? They were talking about, like, ribs, like red hot meat that falls off the bone, whatever Gimli says. So, obviously, they have some sort of farming, whether it's above ground that's brought down below, or something that's managed down below. I'm not so sure, but there will be some sort of meat to eat, probably some sort of underground, vegetable that could be harvested, maybe like mushrooms and moss, algae, something like that. Again, but also we might be able to go above the mountain too, which in that case would lead to, you know, more noticeable vegetables and fruit and stuff. Manage their sleep. So that's something. Not a lot of survival games actually make you manage sleep. Now, it's not unheard of. I mean, even the Skyrim survival mod makes you manage sleep. It's just not common. So this one having that system, it is quite interesting, especially because you'll be underground, so you're not going to really have a concept of day or night. It'll just be whenever you're up or asleep. Temperature, which is common for survival games. I'm not really sure about cold temperature, though it is possible, because above the mountain, like towards the top, you will have more colder temperatures, I'm assuming, and then of course further down below there will be more lava, so it could get hotter. Noise level, now that is the most interesting thing, I think, because not a lot of games have noise levels. There are noise levels in some games, but to the extent that this is going to utilize it, just like in the movie where the bucket and the skeleton goes down into the well and it alerts pretty much everyone in the mines, I'm sure that's going to be a factor too. And then it says, utilize dynamic lighting systems for safety and to blaze a path further into the darkness. Now, blaze a path further into the darkness, that's basically like Minecraft, right? Where the darkness has the creatures, so you keep the light on so you can not only see where you're going, but help keep the, you know, monsters at bay. Now, it says for safety. Now, that could be, again, what I was saying about Minecraft. I was actually thinking more of Ark Survival Evolved if you've played the Aberration map. The Aberration map has like a flashlight system. There's 3 to 4 areas on that map. The green area, you don't have to worry about it. The blue area, you have to keep a light on to keep a certain creature away from you. If you don't have the flashlight, it constantly attacks you. Meanwhile, when you go into the purple area, you have to play with the system, because if you turn it off, that little creature will come and attack you, and if you turn it on, they'll go away, but having it on draws a different type of creature to you. So you have to play with it on and off constantly. So I wonder how they're going to do it for safety. And then it says, battle unspeakable evils to survive the hordes of monsters. Orcs is what they use as an example. I'm sure there's going to be more than just orcs. Obviously, there's orcs, but goblins are obviously a thing in the mountains as well. We see them in the movie. We saw trolls, so probably trolls as well. I doubt they're going to be as common as orcs or goblins, but definitely trolls. Possibly the Balrog, like I said earlier. There's probably going to be a decent variety of creatures, and I think from what creatures we could get, there's probably going to be a variety within them as well, like archers, fighters, stuff like that. The next one that we're going to go to is the base building. Find solace from the darkness. Reveal and clear new locations to create architecture on a grand scale. Get creative and construct bases from scratch or build upon the existing environment. Beware of the evil which seeks to destroy your dwarven progress. So the first part of that basically is Minecraft, right? It's build wherever you want. Minecraft or even Valheim, because Valheim, you know, has ruined buildings. Well, Minecraft has that too, I just remembered. And you can build upon it and, you know, make it better, use it as a small base, or you could carve a hole into the wall and make it there. So it's basically saying you have the freedom to build wherever you want with very little restriction. Whether they have a stability system, I'm not sure, because some games have stability and some don't. I don't know at this point whether it's going to have a stability or not, but I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem if you could just dig into the side of the wall. And the last part of that says, beware of the evil which seeks to destroy your dwarven progress. So basically that's confirming base raids, which almost every single survival game has. Like Valheim has a base attacking system where the creatures will come and attack your base. Conan Exiles also has this system, and several other games could have that system. I mean, Minecraft sometimes has creatures that kind of like just pop up and kind of walk into your walls, but it's not really a system, it's just random and it happens. The next one is rebuild and reshape Moria. Restore the long-lost ancient kingdom of Khazad-dûm to its former glory, recovering dwarven landmarks as the story progresses, resurrect old mines, and refire their forges to yield your untouched resources. So, being that this is procedurally generated, I'm guessing it's going to be similar to Valheim, since that's the only procedurally generated map that I can think of with similar types of mechanics. So, in Valheim, you have boss battles, which are basically your story progression from going from boss 1 to 2 to 3, and you have to find various items in order to help you find where they are and stuff like that. So basically, I'm not sure about, like, biomes or anything, because, again, you're just in a mine, though, you know, there might be various types of areas within the mine. Maybe some are more safe than others, a lava-filled area, and so on. So maybe depending on where you go, you have a higher chance of finding a specific item that's randomly generated in the mine that would lead you to story progression and stuff like that. Refire forges, that's basically utilizing old, ruined areas that you're just going to find randomly generated. Untouched resources, that's basically a given. The next thing is explore. Delve into the depths of the mines of Moria. Procedurally generated environments are abundant with resources and fraught with mystery and danger, providing a unique experience each time. So that's basically what we already went over earlier. So the next part is co-op multiplayer. Adventure alone or band together with friends in online cooperative multiplayer up to 8 players. Now, we've already talked about the rest of it, but the 8 players part is what I'm going to talk about. So 8 players is going to be the maximum on a server. So basically the servers are going to be just like Valheim, where you can only have a certain amount of players per server. Only Valheim, it's up to 10, I believe, while this is only 8. I wonder why they're capping it at only 8 rather than 20, for example. I can understand not having, you know, a server of 100 people or more. That would just not make sense at all to me, and I think it's a little too much, but 8 seems a little bit not enough. I would say the perfect server would probably have around 20 players. That would be enough to have a couple of various groups so you can encourage PvP, but also enough players that you could roleplay. I'm sure if it's allowed, there will be mods to extend it, because there are mods for Valheim to extend server capacity. So we'll have to see what happens with that, if they change their mind or if there's going to be mods or anything. The next one is craft dwarven tools, weapons, and more. Craft and loot legendary dwarven armor, tools, weapons, and structures. Rebuild ancient forges to strengthen, repair, enchant gear. Upgrade and unlock new technologies and fantastical machines. So again, that's more of what I was talking about earlier. But they also says craft and loot legendary dwarven armor. Now, I don't believe it's going to be like legendary, like how we're used to, like, from World of Warcraft, where it's big and shining yellow or orange. Now, they could have legendary quality items, I don't doubt that, but it says legendary dwarven armor and tools, so that means to say that there will be a progression system in armor as well, which is kind of a given again, because this is a survival RPG type of game, and that's, you know, in every type of game like this. So, I'm actually quite interested to see all the various dwarven armor sets. Like, probably start off with, like, a basic generic set, upgrade, obviously, but I wonder if they'll do, like, what Grounded does, or other games where each type of armor set has various stats. Like, one is more tank build, where you could take on a lot of enemies. One would be, you know, a bonus to your blacksmithing ability, and one could be faster mining or digging or whatever. So there's definitely, you know, things they could do with that, but it's remained to be seen so far. Discover ancient magic items, including swords that glow when orcs are near, maps, long forgotten dormant mithril veins, books with forgotten crafting plans, and amulets that give strength or wisdom. Okay, so magic items, I mean, that's gonna be a given in this type of game. Including swords that glow when orcs are near. So we're gonna have elven equipment too, because remember, the sword that Bilbo and Frodo have is elvish made, and that's why it glows. If they're saying that it's gonna glow when orcs are near, that means that's pretty much a confirm that we're gonna have elvish type weapons, at least to my opinion, I think. Maps of long forgotten dormant mithril veins. So that means that we could find maps that would help give us an idea of where certain items will be. Because again, remember, this is procedurally generated. You're not going to know where everything is every time you play the game. So if there are maps that you can discover to help kind of like nudge you into an area, I say that's a very good idea. Books with forgotten crafting plans. So that's basically crafting recipes, that's a given. And amulets that give strength or wisdom. So basically trinkets that will give you a plus in stats, which is basically, you know, typical roleplay stuff. Roleplay game stuff, rather. Mine ore and jewels. Establish mines to unearth deposits of precious resources such as iron, gold, and quartz. And fantastical minerals such as mithril. Access to crafting stations and forges to convert ore into ingots, upgrade gear, but be prepared. Mining is loud and can awaken what lurks in the darkness. So again, at the very last part right there, it's talking about the sound system, which we already talked about earlier. The rest of it is also pretty standard for a game such as this. You know, probably going to go from iron quality to probably a steel quality later on, gold and quartz. Quartz is definitely a more earthen type of material rather than metal, so you gotta probably build with quartz. Mithril is probably going to be the rarest metal, because remember, mithril is very powerful, very magical. Now, I'm familiar with how mithril works in, say, like World of Warcraft. I'm not quite sure if it's exactly the same. However, there are similarities, such as mithril is very light in weight. It's very strong, even stronger than steel. Now, one thing that other games, such as, like I said, World of Warcraft has with mithril that I'm not sure if Lord of the Rings has or not, but it's also a good conductor of magical essence. Like, just magic in general, it's a conductor of it, like gold is a conductor for electricity. So I'm not sure if that's the same with Lord of the Rings lore, but if it is, again, I foresee mithril being probably the strongest metal in the game that you would seek to find, like star metal in Conan Exiles or diamond in Minecraft. Now, there might be something else further past mithril, but I just don't know what it would be, and I can't think of anything that could be like that. And the last thing that's listed here is Comprehensive Dwarf Builder. Players become part of a dwarven legend as they create their own dwarf in the custom character creator. Aw, yeah. Dwarves can be customized in a variety of ways to create unique dwarven identity. Then, during gameplay, players can find and craft armor and weapons to further enhance their unique style. So that last part, again, is stuff we've already talked about. But here, it's basically confirmed character creator, and apparently it's very extensive. So how extensive, that's again remain to be seen. But to create your own dwarf, I think that's like the dream everybody has. This is the game that I've been waiting for. While I am kind of excited for Return to Nagrim. Return to Nagrim seems more like a game similar to Subnautica, while this is more Valheim, Minecraft, and I like that a lot more than another Subnautica-styled game, which, it's not a bad game, and I'm still going to play, Return to Nagrim, but this, I think, is going to be my most anticipated game of next year. The release date is said to be 2023 in the springtime. Whether it remains on track or not, it could be delayed, who knows, but that's what it's at right now. On top of that, unfortunately for some people, it is going to be a PC Epic Games exclusive. Now, I have Epic Games, but I don't really stick to the exclusives. I have it really just to kind of play around with Unreal Engine, but I guess I can sacrifice and get this game whenever it comes out on Epic Games. But anyway, that's my video for this game. If you enjoyed it, please stick around. While I do mostly cover World of Warcraft private servers, I do want to get more into the survival games because that's my passion. I love them a lot. I do have a couple of videos already on some survival games, and occasionally I will stream some too. So if you like that, you can subscribe. I also created a new channel called Excaligator Reviews, where it's going to be dedicated fully to reviewing survival open world sandbox games, and you can sure enough believe that this game will be in the future on that channel. So you can also subscribe there if you want to as well. And thank you for watching.